Good morning. How are my Insomniacs doing this morning? Happy birthday to Flo. She left a note in the comments that she was going to be, when the live stream happened, it would be her birthday. So happy birthday, Flo. Oh my God. How's everyone doing? Oh my goodness. Hey, Kentucky Belle. Hi, Michelle. Oh my goodness. Hey, Michelle, I was reading a Yahoo article. There was an article about six underrated cities that would be great to visit, and Louisville made the list. So we should all go to visit Louisville and then wave at Kentucky Belle as we land at the airport, I suppose. Oh my goodness. I hope you're all doing well. Hi, Mary Epperson, Bob Baker, Lori, Unicorn Hypnotist. Wow. How many unicorns have you hypnotized so far? I'd be fascinated to know that. Oh my goodness. Oh, Elizabeth, happy birthday to you as well. Yay. So I got some birthdays going on. Hey, how do y'all thinking about Trump's little great county fair? Seems like that's going off just as well as his 4th of July parade for his birthday parade, right? I was just reading an article before we went live that they were having some issues. I think like 10 states or so decided not to send any kind of delegation or representation to it because the cost was too expensive. And then they've had all sorts of problems with electricity going out. They've had weather that has shut it down early. With the electricity going, I guess they have a generator, and the generator was out. So like they've got a big Ferris wheel that had to shut down for several hours. Shipments of ice cream that isn't arriving in time, and the stuff they have is melting because they don't have any refrigeration because there's no power. And the crowd sizes are not what they were hoping, I guess. So it's just turning into the exact kind of shite show that you would expect from something that Trump has put together. I'm really torn. I was reading some of the comments of the people there. They were, some folks saying, it's a once in a lifetime event. The country's only going to turn 250 once, which is true. But I don't know. Right now, I don't really feel like celebrating a birthday for this country. I guess the best analogy I can come up with is it's like as a parent, if you've got a kid that's going to celebrate a birthday, some sort of milestone birthday, if you will. But the kid's just being like a juvenile delinquent, and he's out there running around with his pals, and he's being a truant. He's not going to school. He's breaking windows at the school. The police are constantly knocking on your door, dragging this kid home, and he's picking fights and causing all kinds of mischief. And at some point, you're supposed to be really excited that he's going to turn, 15 or pick, 16, to pick an age, right? And it's like, as a parent, you'd be like, yeah, 16 would normally be a really good birthday to celebrate, but right now this kid is misbehaving, and I really don't feel like celebrating this kid. And I guess that's how I feel about the 250th birthday of the United States. Yeah, we can always celebrate 251, right? I remember the bicentennial. There was a big run up to that. Everyone was excited about the bicentennial, and everyone was feeling very patriotic. And they even had a special quarter come out. That 1776 to 1976 bicentennial quarter, right? And the American automotive manufacturers even had like special red, white, and blue paint. It just, you could do everything that would be like really patriotic and celebratory. But man, I'm just not feeling it for 250. So I guess unless you got a red baseball cap and think everything is going great, I can't imagine a lot of people are really excited by this, right? Uh, hey, Richard Keys. I was in Philadelphia during the Bicentennial 76. That was probably a great place to be to celebrate the Bicentennial, right? Oh my gosh. Hey, so if you guys, I don't know if you guys want to do readings or not, if you just want to chit chat, but go ahead, throw comments in the comment section. All caps is really good, and we'll just see what you want to chat about. Got about 85 people in watching right now, which is amazing. You guys should be asleep. I guess that's why it's the Insomniac Pajama Party, right? Richard, I agree. Trump is turning the 250th birthday. Everything is about Trump, though, right? I mean, I just saw another article on the passport for the 250th anniversary, and there's Trump, scowling face on the passport. It's just one of those things. It's just nuts. He's got, as Dave likes to put on it, gold plate something gold and piss on it to put his name on it, right? He's just marking it like a dog. And he's got to put his name on, his brand on everything. It's just, it's so exhausting. Let's see what we got here. Why is this not showing up here? What am I doing wrong? You can tell it's late. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Amy Sanders. Oh, thank you, Amy. It's not a party without beverages. You know what to do. I do indeed. I had a thought of showing up with a beer, but it is so late. Oh, who am I kidding? Let me go to the kitchen and grab it. I'm in the shed outside in the backyard, so I'm a little ways away from my beer haven there. But thank you so much, Amy. I so appreciate that. Kentucky Belle, yay! Thank you so much, Michelle. I hope you and Dan are doing good. Everything's going okay in Louisville for you. I know Laura wants to get out there. She wants to go check out Kentucky because you got the birthplace of her favorite president out there. So she wants to go see where Lincoln was born. What else we got going on here? Susan Francis, yay! G'day, Susan. Susan's in Australia. I always look forward to Susan's posts because I know I'm getting near the end of the comments when I see Susan. I'm usually within 10 or 20 comments of the end. Susan and Alf are kind of my benchmarks. When I see their names, I know I'm finally getting to the end of the comments there. Oh my gosh, Kentucky Belle, thank you so much, Michelle. I guess the lottery's treating you well these days, right? Michelle has posted in the past that she does play the lottery and she likes to share her winnings. And when she does well, she is a very good sharer. So thank you so much, Michelle. I won't tell David about that though. That's his fault for not showing up at midnight. Is out there snoring away while the rest of us are out here working. God, it's so late. Is it 2 or 3 in the morning for you, Michelle? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get back to the stream here. Let's see. Any questions? I'm not seeing anything in caps. No one's shouting at me. No one knows I cares about this anniversary. No, hey, I'm right there with you. That's how I'm feeling. I could not care less about this 4th of July, if I'm perfectly honest. Yeah. 251, maybe that would be a better 4th of July to celebrate, right? Let's see, Sharon. I was in Boston with the tall ships for the bicentennial. Yeah, uh, Dave and I remember seeing the ships out there. They're moored out there in the bay. It's just really neat. It's one of the things that is very interesting is, born and raised in California, our sense of history out here is completely different than the East Coast and completely different than like Europe, right? Out here, something that's really, really old was probably built in the 20s or 30s, the 1920s and 30s. You go out to like Boston and you start going into the older section of town and you look at the roads and they're like these cobblestone roads that are, they're like this wide, right? And you realize these roads were not built for automobiles. These roads were built for like horses, carts, and human traffic only. And it really gives you kind of a sense of, oh my God, this thing's been this street or this city or it's been around for 200 plus years. And then if you go to Europe, they even take it up a whole nother notch. Laura works for United Airlines, and so we've taken full advantage of the flight benefits. And we took the kids out to England to go visit my sister-in-law, Laura's sister. And then we took a train up to Edinburgh, and we did a tour under the city of Edinburgh. The modern Edinburgh is actually built on top of the old Edinburgh. And they have an under the city tour. And oh my God, if you ever get a chance, try that tour. It is amazing. They give you the whole history of, what old Edinburgh was like, and how, of course, they didn't have indoor plumbing back then. They had a bucket that you filled up, and then a couple times a day you could empty the bucket. They'd collect the buckets. But what people would do is they'd get the bucket waste and they toss it out the window. And the phrase "gardy loo" came from that, which is a slight modification of, I think, French, but it basically says, "Look out for the water, for the toilet water, because it's coming out the window." And you look at, they'll take you down under the city. There's tenements that are still standing. You can go into an old building that people used to live in. You can look out the window and see the city street below, and it's just fascinating that it's still there, that you're looking at something that's, now closer to 800 plus to, 800 to 1,000 years old. It is really fascinating. Let's see, what else we got going on here? Okay, so we got Hope Suzanne. When will the majority tip the scales? Who goes down taking the whole ship with them? Who goes down. Dave and I have talked about that a little bit. One of the things we like to look at is the Truth Social stock. And we've kind of said in the past that, as Truth Social goes, so does Trump's presidency. And as Dave put it the last time we recorded together, it's kind of like the poly market on Trump, right? And it's that was a very insightful comment, because that's exactly what we were, before the poly market became a thing. That's exactly what we were kind of predicting it was. It was like a predictive future of his presidency. And I basically said back in the day is, when that thing goes under 5, he's done. It's when it gets under 7, it's like the robot from Lost in Space, with the arms, "Warning, Will Robinson," right? And it actually dipped below 7 today. I think I think the stock finished up, ultimately it rallied later in the day, but his stock is really in trouble. So he's at $7.42, but the low today was $6.96. So the robot was starting to flail. And so it's only a matter of time. Well, let's take a look. Let's see if the cards can give us any kind of insight, because you know how tarot is so great at timing, right? So when will the majority tip the scales? Part of it, it's up to us. We have to save ourselves, right? Free will and all that. This guy was voted in, whether it was a legit vote or not, we can debate that until the cows come home. But at the end of the day, he's in the office, whether he got in there legitimately or not. And it's up to us to get him out, right? At the end of the day. And let's just see what we've got here. So when will the majority tip the scales and put the orange twerp on the sidelines? Let's see what we got here. Okay, the Empress. Okay. The Empress is all about taking care of everybody. This is like the mother card, right? So if we're looking about when will the majority tip the scale, it's when we start caring more about others and making sure there's a desire that everyone gets taken care of and doing what's best for everybody instead of being selfish. What will symbolize that is when we start working together, start taking actions that we can all celebrate. It's kind of more that when you start seeing more bipartisan stuff, like this housing act that Trump is currently sitting on, you start seeing the parties starting to work together, or the citizens working together. We start changing our values and start have a new beginning on what we think is valuable and what we want out of life. This could also, Dave likes to see the pentacles as votes these days. And this could be just simply, there's an opportunity to change your vote, to show your change in values. That shows that you want what's best for everyone and you want to celebrate the different people. And the Ace of Swords, and you want a different truth. You want different ideas. You want to go in a different direction. And if you do all of those things, you put an end to the regime. So it's isn't that a great vague answer? So when is it going to happen? Those cards tell me that it's going to happen on. No, we have to change our mindset. Aurelia's out there. Aurelia is one of our locals. Is this actually live right now? Yes, Aurelia, it truly is. It is actually a midnight party for you and me. So, here's the great the great surprise to everyone is, when we stop being selfish bastards, that's when we can right this ship and head this country into a different direction. Just got to get rid of the greed and the selfishness. My wife was she was in a training class at home all this week, and the lady that was running the training class was out of Ireland, and she wanted Laura to watch a video, and the video was on positivism, which you think is something that I would embrace, right? It's like, but the video is basically saying, and inside I'm grumbling, it's like there's not much to be positive about these days. The point of the video is, stuff happens, and it's your reaction as to whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Stuff happens, and it's just what happens, and it's your reaction as to whether it's a good thing or not. And I'm grumbling. It's really, I can look around and see a whole lot of things that are hard to be positive about. But I mean, to the point of the training session or this particular video is, it's true. Whether something is positive or negative is in our viewpoint. There's a lot of really crappy things going on. frankly. Trump's out there destroying everything. And I guess the best thing you could hope for, the positivism, is when we're finally get rid of this moron and we get some sane person back leading this country, we can start fixing all this stuff that was broken. Because apparently there was a lot of things broken, a lot of they're not even trying to hide the grift anymore, right? And it's kind of like, this is our country, this is who we are. Oh my God, we're horrible. And the fact that there's so many people cheering this on and thinking this is great. Oh my gosh. What's this? Kentucky Bell? Hit 1,000. Oh, wow. Congratulations. Right on. Oh, you got to take Dan out to that steakhouse that you went for your anniversary. Dinner on Michelle tonight. Congratulations. Oh, I'm so happy for you. That's so amazing. So it's just one of those, yeah, it sucks right now. For those people who are compassionate and caring and empathetic and embrace immigration and people in different cultures and whatnot, these are tough times. But once we get this corrupt regime out of the way, we can fix things, and ultimately things will be better. But man, it is really, really hard to be all cheery and upbeat saying, yay, everything's going to be great, because all you see is just the destruction and chaos around. And it's really hard. I guess, in a few years, we could look back and say, yeah, this is what needed to happen in order for this to work out. But man, it sucks to go through right now. As Dave likes to say, I hate this timeline. You know what's funny about this timeline? In junior high school, I used to read a lot of books about World War II. And I remember back, I don't know if it was high school, junior high school, and maybe right after I graduated. But I remember thinking, I can't believe all these people that supported Hitler back in 30s Germany and were so okay with what he was doing and how he was treating people and all of the shenanigans that were going on in World War II. And how could people be so dumb to follow that? And of course, benefiting from hindsight, right? From being many years in the future and looking back, right? And it occurred to me the other day that was a bit prophetic, a thought, because maybe that's one of those things, those little seeds that gets planted before you cross over and come down here during this timeline, was that there were some of us that had that very question. It's like, how could people sign up for this and believe this and think that this is great? And here we are, we're living it. We're truly reliving this. And I can now answer that question. Why do people sign up for this and believe it? Because we're seeing it. And it's one of those where people just don't care about others, and they're only worried about their own selfish needs. And it's all about the ego and the me. Ooh, Michelle is boy, oh boy, I'm going to stock up the beer fridge tonight. Thank you so much, Michelle. I truly hope you and Dan are doing good. And say hi to Dan. Take that man out for a steak. I'm so happy that you had such good luck on the lottery. I've only basically made investments into the lottery, so at least it's nice to know that some of my investments have paid off for you on the other side. And Becky, too many cats. Yay! Thanks, Becky. How are you? As I've always said, how many cats is too many cats? My wife has a sign in the backyard that says one cat short of crazy. So I guess we currently have 3. So I guess for us 4 would make us crazy, right? I'm actually surprised they didn't follow me out here. The cats are always ready to go outside at all odd hours to go hang out with their friends. But I guess the ones that were inside were busy sleeping. So they didn't, I was quiet and they didn't realize that I made it outside. Red hats make me physically ill. Isn't that awful? I get it. And I'm really upset how many things have been taken away from us. Like, for example, red hats make me physically. If I see someone with a red hat, my first instinct is Trumper. And that's so unfair. It's just a red hat, a truck with an American flag in the back. First thought, Trumper. And I hate that has been co-opted. That the term patriot now means someone that is hateful and spiteful. It's just, I hate that this has happened. And I can't wait for this to go away and that we can move forward and move past all of this. Winter random. My cats are 100% indoor. We have too many eagles where I live. Yeah, I'll tell you, we have red-tailed hawks. Matter of fact, I've heard a couple of babies out there, either around my work or around our home, and owls. We have, we're a very suburban area, but we still have a lot of woodsy areas around us, and we actually have regular old owls out there. And I remember when we had when our cats were kittens, the vet said you cannot leave these cats out at night because the owls will get them. And even in the day, the hawks are out there. And we had Laura was walking Dallas, our dog, and our cats like to walk with the dog. And one of our boy cat Phineas, he was actually our biggest cat. And Laura was walking and Phineas was out in front of Dallas and a hawk swooped on him. And just as the hawk got to Phineas, he realized this cat's bigger than I am. And then the hawk pulled up at the last second. And Phineas never realized that he was almost taloned. And it was, Laura's like, I didn't have time to react. Dallas didn't have time to react. And Phineas had no idea what almost happened. And Dallas was the type of dog, he didn't have prey drive, but he liked to chase after crows and make them take wing. And he would not have been very happy with a hawk going after one of his cats. But yeah, Laura and I have kind of discussed it. Any future cats we get are going to be indoor cats just because it's just easier. Maybe we'll make some modifications to the backyard so they have a catio, so they have the ability to go out and sit in the sun, but not the ability to hop over the back fence and start exploring the neighborhood like Punky, our boy cat, likes to do. See what else? I got here. I grabbed a squirrel the other day. Yeah, I've seen a hawk go after a pigeon. They're so, or go into a tree and snatch like a robin type of a bird, and it's just like they're amazing hunters. Kentucky Bell's got 7 kitties. Yes, you just recently got some like kittens like within the last several months. Here you go. Saw a bald eagle snag a 10-pound cat off the top rail of a neighbor's privacy fence without even slowing down. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's so true. Just like with the hawk, it's almost instantaneous. It happens so fast. Yeah, indoor cats do live longer. Yeah, mostly because most of the time you don't have cars, other wild critters, zooming around inside your house, shortening their lifespan. We lost Phineas ultimately. He got mauled. He got attacked by raccoons allegedly. But this cat, man, he got swooped on by a hawk. He was in the middle of the street and a car ran over the top of him. and caused him to kind of go tumbling off. He didn't get caught under the tires, but I remembered my neighbor came over the house and said and mentioned that Phineas is out in the street, a car ran over the top of him, and fortunately he didn't get killed. He didn't even get injured. His nails were all mangled because he probably like grabbed a hold of the asphalt as the car was going over him in a panic, and it really messed up his nails. But that's all that happened to him. And then, that cat used up a lot of his 9 lives. He also was walking on the neighbor's skylight. I guess they had their skylight open, and they had like a screen to keep bugs out. Phineas went through the screen and dropped 12 feet onto their living room floor. And my neighbor says he's sleeping, and he wakes up and he looks at his window by his bed, and he sees the silhouette of a cat. And then he realizes the cat's inside the house, not outside the house, because Phineas is like sitting on the windowsill. So he had to go let the cat out. Phineas got himself locked in the neighbor's garage. He didn't come home for dinner, and I went through the neighborhood, start calling him, and all of a sudden I hear him respond, and he's stuck in the neighbor's garage because they leave the garage door open, but then later in the evening they closed it and they didn't realize he was in there. That cat used up all 9 of those lives, and I miss him dearly. He was such a neat cat, but oh my god, so much drama with Phineas. Okay, let's see. Who will release the Epstein files? What a great question. Let's see. Let's just look at the cards on the Epstein files. Tell us about the energy, or what will we see when they get released? What's going to be happening? I don't have a card here that says Kamala Harris or Justice Sotomayor or anything like that. So let's take a look at the energy for the Epstein files. What's going to be happening? What will be happening? When they're ready to be fully released. Let's take a look. I like that question. So the Epstein files will hopefully one day be released. What's going to be happening? What leads up to it? Entertainment purposes only. Okay. Temperance. It's about finding a balance. It's about finally trying to heal. There's a feeling that this needs to be done to heal, either heal the nation or detoxify this situation, this poison that's been going through us. This is about giving back to the people that have been wronged here, the survivors. Justice, going after the wealthy people that were participating in this, and bringing justice to those folks that were they're survivors of this. Queen of Pentacles, once again, taking care of the people that were wronged. Showing what we care about, that our values have changed. Seven of Pentacles, looking towards the future, and how do we prevent something like this from happening again? Doing that investigation, looking towards the future, and seeing the potential, either the potential for good or the prevention of further harm. And then the energy underneath it, this the whole Five of Wands. It's the whole argy-bargy, the chaos. When the chaos ends, and to me, this is kind of the trump card. So if there was any kind of timing component on here, it's this. It's when we're done with the chaotic situation. And right now we're going through that chaotic situation. So I guess the non-surprising answer is, when we're done fighting and throwing sticks at each other and we calm the hell down, we can focus on this and focus on making things right for the people that suffered when they were kids. You know, these children that were taken advantage of by the very wealthy, this group of people that were doing horrific things to young women and young men, or young boys and girls. They're not even women or men; they're kids. Hopefully, that's sooner rather than later, right? Let's see. Let's look at what else we got here. Michelle, oh my God, that's amazing. Party at Michelle's house. Next pajama party Michelle's hosting. I guess you're having champagne with that steak dinner with Dan there. Oh, let's see. I'm going through the comments here. Oh my goodness. Michelle, my goodness, save some of that for Dan. Stop. Thank you. I mean, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. It's completely unnecessary. We love your generosity, but man, I want you to take care of that man of yours. That man, that big strapping young man that you've got in your profile picture there. Tell Dan we said hello. Take that man out. Show him a good time. I am so happy for you, Michelle. That is amazing. You've had more luck in this 36-minute live stream than I've had in my entire life on those lotteries. It's interesting. Dave, when he got divorced from his first wife, he had gone to a couple of different intuitives. And one of the intuitives showed that in the near future, he was going to find himself in a very good place. She sees kind of like a woodsy, not country so much, but a non-urban area, kind of a woodsy, tree area. And he's going to be thinking to himself, what was the phrase? It's like everything's going my way, right? It was something like that. There was like a phrase that she had mentioned in that. And it was so funny because at that time, there was in California, they had a scratcher, and it had the same exact phrase as the name of the scratcher. Like, I'll make something up, like made in the shade, right? It's like, oh, I've got everything made in the shade. It was something like that. I forget the phrase, but they had a scratcher that was like that. And so, man, I invested heavily in those scratchers and gave them to my brother, and none of them won. It's like, but wait a minute, the intuitive said that he was going to say this phrase, and I thought it was like just serendipity. But ultimately, he met Michelle, and his life has really turned around so nicely for him. And I kind of wonder if that woodsy area that the intuitive had described was actually Mendocino, California, because that is David and Michelle's happy place. They go there routinely, and it's interesting because my grandmother, my dad's mom, grew up in Mendocino. Her dad worked in the logging camps up in the Mendocino area, and when my grandmother was still alive and was still mobile enough, we were able to take her up there and visit her mother's gravesite up in Mendocino. It wasn't terribly easy to get to, and that was kind of our only opportunity. But yeah, it's interesting how life works that way. Let's see, we got some more starred comments. Oh, Michelle, oh my goodness. Thank you, Michelle. Hey, come on. I didn't win the lottery. You're the one that won it. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Michelle. Truly, thank you. Go spend it on Dan. Did I miss any? I think I've got them all at this point. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's back to the comments there. Holy moly. Yeah, I know, right? I'll tell you what, Michelle, why don't we all we'll chip in a couple bucks each and play the big lottery. You know, the ones I see the billboards out here are like 300 and 450 million dollars. Let's all send Michelle some money and we'll just go in for one of those, like the 450 million dollar lottery. Let's tap that luck, that string of luck that she's got going on right now. Let's share the wealth, right? Oh my goodness. Yes, thank you so much, Michelle. Michelle she's great. I've been the accidental beneficiary of some of Michelle's generosity. Where one day these large packages got delivered to my front door, full of canned goods and other items. And what it was Michelle was donating food to a local food pantry, but her computer system had my home address as the default delivery address. Yeah, I guess because it was the last time she had sent me something. And all of a sudden, all these odd foodstuffs start showing up on my front door. And it's like, oh my God, where did this come from? And it turned out what it was Michelle was donating to the local food pantry, but it got sent to the wrong address. So I went and took all that stuff to the local food pantry here. But it was funny because it happened like twice. It's like, oh no, got more stuff. And what was funny was one of it was like SpaghettiOs. And Michelle was saying, and I believe someone else in the comments said that it's like the perfect food. Like if there's a tornado coming through and you're kind of stuck in your basement, it's like the perfect tornado food weather, tornado weather food. I can't speak to that. We don't have tornadoes out here. We only have earthquakes, and they don't last very long. But it was that's the kind of person Michelle is. There's just a lot of generosity, a lot of giving back, and totally appreciate that. I mean, it's certainly a fine example to follow, right? Okay, let's see. Yes, I'll be able to stock up for a year or two. You know, if YouTube didn't take so damn much of that money, yeah, you're totally right. I think they take 40% of the donations. It's just like, oh my God. And then I got to split it with the government and my brother. You know, what the heck? That's why a lot of these YouTubers have Patreon, because Patreon takes less. Or there's also another service called like Buy Me a Coffee, and they only take like 10% of the donations. So more goes to the folks putting out the content. But thank you so much, Michelle. You're amazing. The Russians are demanding Putin resign. Rose Blue. I mean, yeah, isn't that incredible? How after 4 years of war, and now that Ukraine is bringing the consequences of Putin's action to the rank and file Russians, they're getting tired of it. And Dave and I had done sort of a reading on Netanyahu and Trump and Putin and Z. And when we did the reading, it was kind of like, when these guys go, they're all going to go right like together. It's like within weeks, months of each other, they're all just going to drop like flies. And I think we're starting to see that crumbling. You know, we're seeing the True Social stock, it dipped below 7. It's still in the 7s right now, but It dipped into the sixes, and Putin's getting his. He is starting to get some major pushback at home, and Netanyahu is receiving a lot of pushback at home too. So I suspect that we're on the cusp of this. We just got to hang in there and know that the universe has our back on this. Oh, hey, is it Eva? Is that the right pronunciation? I said a 20 euro donation to our local food bank. I didn't give money. I bought the stuff, but I look for things that most people don't go for. Pet food was. That is a great idea. I know when I do my donations to like Second Harvest, I tend to want to find foods that have a lot of bulk to them, are filling. So like pasta, for example, like when pasta goes on sale and it's like $1 a pound, and I'll load up on pasta and jars of pasta sauce so that the folks that are receiving the food from the pantry, they have something substantial and filling. But it never occurred to me, pet food. Probably stuff for babies, if it's formula or diapers or stuff. I mean, that's stuff that's very expensive that they have needs for as well. So well done thinking of our critters. Let's see. Diva, now that refugees are officially vilified. Yeah, no kidding, right? Thanks, Supreme Court. Will Trump decide to dismantle the Statue of Liberty? He'll probably try and plate it gold and call it the Trump Liberty, right? Oh my gosh, that man. Yeah, I was just reading an article. The Supreme Court they made some ruling that's going to impact a bunch of folks that came over to the United States, the Haitians and Venezuelans that that were escaping political turmoil at home, and it's basically the writing's on the wall that he's going to just kick them all out, and they're kind of pushing back, saying his agenda is racist. It's based on race. The ones so if you're from Sweden, he wants to keep you, but if you're from Haiti, he wants to get rid of you, and they're not wrong. This is from the man who complained about shithole countries, right? Why all these people come here from shithole countries? And that is, if that's not race based, I don't know what is. And it's so funny because I haven't done a lot of traveling to these types of countries, but my understanding is, we have at my church. We have a lot of pastors that are coming from the African nations, and they're so full of joy and love. And I hear that from friends that have traveled to those areas. That's kind of where they come back with the story is, yeah, it's poor, but these people are very loving and full of joy. And yeah, it's a shithole country if all you're worried about is wealth and 5-star accommodations. It completely ignores the quality and the character of the people, doing the best they can in a nation that doesn't have a lot of resource to go around. And they share, there's a sense of community. And yet for someone who's a billionaire, it's a shithole country. Yay us, right? Let's see. Hi, Lucy Rodriguez. How are you? Super sticker. Woo! Doing the super sticker dance at 12:49 in the morning. Thank you, Lucy. Let's see. I'm down for a party at Kentucky Bell's house. All right, Kentucky Bell. We're coming. We'll have to pack up the cars and make the caravan toward Louisville there. We go there for time for the Kentucky Derby because Kentucky Bell was saying that is a big party. It's it's like 2 weeks of festivals and events. I had no idea. I just thought it was a horse race. I mean, granted, it's the Triple Crown, one of the probably uh, the key jewel of the Triple Crown, but it's an event. It's not just a horse race. It's a complete event. Oh man. Let's see. Oh my gosh, this is right. I miss David because David's usually running through the comments. All I got to do is respond to him. Oh my goodness. Chromatic daisies. I want some major blessings today from the angels. Oh, if it all works out, I won't have to worry so much. Oh, wonderful. Oh, that's so nice to hear. Fingers crossed for you. I hope everything's going wonderful on your end there, chromatic daisies. All right. Vilma. Hi, Vilma. Vilma, I think you're in Australia too, aren't you? Vilma, Vilma always lets me know when she's hyped the channel. I don't know how much that's helping me these days. YouTube changed the algorithm a little bit. So there was a couple things that have been going on with YouTube where based on your subscriber notifications, you have to make sure your notifications are such that you are given a notification every time David or I post up a video. There's an option there where YouTube will queue up the next, YouTube will decide which videos to queue up for you, which I think has been really throttling this particular channel. I've not been producing as many videos. Like last year, Dave and I produced something every single day, literally. This year, not as much. Matter of fact, I need to kind of pick up the pace a little bit more. But between that change in the notification options and they're using more AI, so I suspect some of the keywords that I'm using are causing the channel to be throttled even more. How I feel about that is I'm still going to call a spade. You could have code words for Dear Leader, the Orange Menace that AI might not pick up on. But if you say the word Trump, it'll throttle this. But it's, hey, if AI looks at, if you mention the name Donald Trump and it sees it as a negative thing, then AI really has made some advances. That, the name Trump is starting to denote a negative connotation the way the last name Hitler might, right? So at one hand, it's causing the next up viewership to drop off, but I don't care. The folks that want to watch this stuff, they're already subscribed. They know to look for it. I will try and do a better job of being more predictable about when the videos come out. Last year was an easy piece of cake. Just every morning at midnight, Pacific time, a video would drop. And so I have to do a better job of that. But yeah, I mean, this is a combination. The last video I just put out, it was definitely in the bottom 10 of all views of all videos I put out. It only had like 2,000 views. That's all right. It was still a topic I wanted to discuss. It was about Kash Patel's girlfriend, how she got her singing gig. She claims it was because she's worked so hard and she's this amazing political consultant and conversationist, on talking on political issues, and had nothing to do with the fact that she's dating Kash Patel, right? It's just, okay, whatever. And then the second reading was on what's going on with the reflection pool out there. And that's fine. If it does well, it does well. If it doesn't do well, that's fine. It was something I wanted to read on, and I figured, people have an interest or they won't. It could just be the timing was kind of late. I know Dave had done those types of readings a day or two earlier, and it's been in the news cycle long enough where people were already moving on to the latest crisis that Trump had created. Ah, my goodness. Let's see what else we got there. Oh, so look at this. Becky Too Many Cats. My grandma ran a trucker's diner, I'm assuming, in Trinidad above Eureka. Spent many summer there and in Willow Creek. Becky Too Many Cats, there was a place that Dave and I used to go to in the 70s that had a statue of Bigfoot sitting right on the city limits. Is it off of 159? I think that's the highway. There's where we used to go to Willow Creek every summer. I'm surprised anyone knows where this place is, to be quite frank. And I'm gonna the places we used to stay. I've got them on my phone here. They've changed the name of the place. It used to be called Gamby's. It was right by the drive-in theater off the highway there. It's now called China Creek Cottages. And it's right off that main road there. Is it 159? It's got a map, but it's got the pin on it, and the pin is blocking the 299. It's right off of 299, right where the old drive-in theater used to be, and it's now called China Cottages. And we used to go there every summer. It was great as a teenage boy because there's everything a teenage boy can want. You can go off into the woods with the BB gun and shoot up the town. You could walk down to the Trinity River and fish. That was back in the day where inner tubes were still a thing, and we'd get inner tubes and we would go down the river, and my dad would there was like a little landing strip down just right by the river, and there was a little area there. We called it Big Rock because there was like a little island with this huge rock that we would jump into the river, and we would go down there, and my dad would wait for us there to come floating down about 2 hours later. It was, a good time, a lot of good memories up there. I mean, if your idea of a great time is shopping, there wasn't much there. If it was drinking, fishing, shooting a BB gun, and riding inner tubes on the water, a great time. So I don't think we ever made it to the trucker's diner in Trinidad. My dad's uncle lived in Eureka. He was a doctor. So we also spent a little time in Eureka as well. Let's see what else. All right. Yeah, the Russians are standing up to Putin. Yeah, it's basically, we're going to need to do the same thing, right? It's up to us. Ukraine took out the Kursk power plant yesterday. No power in Crimea. Yeah. Ukraine has really turned the tables on Russia, and by bringing the war to the Russian people and the occupied areas, it kind of gives them a kick in the complacency. It's kind of like if something like, I'm not suggesting that this should happen, but if something like that happened here, people wouldn't stand for it. It'd be really, they'd be out in the streets. And this is, I guess, the closest thing to us is when you go to the gas station and see gas is $5 a gallon, and you start kicking people in the wallet, that gets them to get them motivated and getting them to band together and say enough's enough. apparently $5 gas is not quite enough to get people to mobilize, but Ukraine has the right strategy now. And it's basically getting the Russian people to finally say enough, no more. Let's see. For more. I mean, I'm so far behind in the comments. Oops. Anna Marie Sikorsky, are you still live? Yes, I'm still alive. We're all still here. Yes, I guess you are. Hello from Daytona Beach. I just happened to wake up and see this going on. Oh my God, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. It's okay. You can go back to bed. I'm going to bed soon. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Just want to get to the bottom of the comments here. Oh my goodness. Am I that far behind? Oh my goodness gracious. I am that far behind. I'm just going to go to the bottom. Oh my gosh. Robin Davis. Hey. Hi, Robin. Super sticker. Yay. Woo. Thank you so much, Robin. That's so kind of you. Yeah, you guys are amazing. Truly are amazing. And what I truly appreciate about this particular live stream, even though it's really rough on me, I'm usually up at by 5 in the morning. But you guys are you're really the core of the quote unquote fan base for this channel, and I really adore you guys. Like I said, when I respond to all the comments, I literally read every single comment. I respond to them. And I recognize so many of your names because of, for the last 2 years, I've been responding to you. And I really have, I don't know if kinship is the right word, but I really feel a connection to the Insomniacs crew. And like I said, part of it is because when I see certain names, I know I'm really progressing through the comments. It's back when when this channel wasn't getting throttled quite so bad. We could get 300-400 comments easy on a video, and I would spend literally 2 or 3 hours going through comments and responding. And so there's so many names I recognize through this, and so I wanted to give a little bit back to those folks that are out there at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, watching these videos while, I'm in bed sleeping. Yum, 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 yum. And you guys are just amazing. Dave touched on it. He did this pop-up live stream on Thursday. We recorded. I didn't even know we were doing a live stream. We were about like 5-6 minutes into it before it occurred to me that, oh my God, he's doing a live stream, and it's because Rose Blue had made a comment. I thought, why is he quoting Rose Blue? And then I wasn't, I was just kind of focused on the camera. And then it occurred to me, he's like, oh my God, we're live. And Dave made me the comments, well, Gary likes lives. He's told me he likes doing lives better than regular recording. So I thought I'd humor him. And I do, because I enjoy the interaction with you folks. And that's what I like about the comments. I love the interaction. It's a lot of work, but it's a labor of love for me. And for a lot of you, this is one of the few places where you can you've got your kind of online support group, if you will. And you guys, I mean, really have changed me as a person, where I am a far more empathetic person, a less naive person. I have lived a very comfortable life, full stop. Not everyone in these comments has had a comfortable life. And it breaks my heart when sometimes you share kind of the challenge you're going through, And it's like, oh my God, it just makes me realize that, as unhappy as I am about what's happening around the world, there are people out there that really need help. And it really underscores how misguided this administration is. They've got the right idea where, we need to focus on the average American and making their life better. But their approach is to trash on immigrants and give more money to the oligarchs because reasons, right? As opposed to, I'm not against trying to find jobs for people. I don't know if people really want to work in a factory making toothbrushes. I don't know if that's really in canned soup, that take all that stuff back from China and build a factory. I mean, a lot of those factories are going to be automated anyways. There's not going to be a lot of labor involved. And who wants to make toothbrushes for the rest of their life, making minimum wage? So I think that there's stuff that we can do as a country that helps make life easier for those that are in the have-nots. But unfortunately, the direction we seem to be going is just increasing the gap between those that have and those that don't. And that's something that needs to change. But that's also vision that you folks have given me. That, there's there was someone in the comments the other day that said, basically, hey, I get Social Security. It's $1,200 a month. My rent is $1,000 a month. And I got $200 to feed me and my cat for a month. And that really just kind of made my jaw drop. I was like, oh my God. How do you make ends meet like that? That is just, what a difficult situation to find yourself in. So I just, as I wrap this up, I just want to thank you all so much for watching these videos. Thank you so much for sharing what you're going through. You're making me a better person. And I truly appreciate that from all of you, whether it involves cards or not. It doesn't matter. You guys make my life better. And I will do what I can to try and bring a little joy, a little levity, a little uplift for you. And that's why I haven't been posting quite as often, because I don't want to throw more negative energy out there. We got more than enough. You can go to a whole bunch of different sources to get outraged. And I just kind of want to put a more calming energy out there and a more positive spin on things, and just trying to keep hope alive for people that don't have a lot to be hopeful about. So that's what I want to share with you. So thank you so much for joining the pajama party. I guess I should probably put on pajamas. Usually when I go to sleep, it's just I'm in my skivvies, and I don't think anyone wants to see that. So, put on my shirt and got a pair of sweats on, and I'm going to go back to bed. Laura's got a head start on me now. Sue Fleming, hey, from England there. Hi, Sue. You have your coffee cup, I hope. Anyways, I hope you all have a great day. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll do this again real soon. And I totally appreciate it. Thank you so much, Becky Too Many Cats. I hope you have a wonderful day. And to Kentucky Bell and to everyone else that contributed to the channel, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Have try and keep a positive attitude. We will get through this. It's just, one day we'll look back and we'll realize that this was all for a reason and that we're in good shape. But right now we're in the middle of the storm. It's really hard to keep that upbeat attitude, right? Anyways, have a great night, folks, and we'll catch you real soon. Take care. Love you all. Bye.